Who am I? An introduction. Hi mind explorers, welcome to the Observed Conversations channel. This channel is about life and life can be observed. I am Sampath Ramanujan, ex-All India Services Officer, Corporate Security Advisor and Consultant, MFA in Creative Writing and Consciousness, including philosophy, cosmology, religion and spirituality. Author of the book Restless, the Chronicles, and freelance writer on national and cyber security in popular newspapers and magazines. A member of the Cybersecurity Policy Group at Stanford University. And lastly, an admirer of U.G. Krishnamurti's ideas, who is fondly remembered as U.G. I'll be referring to him and his ideas frequently in my conversations. So let's begin our explorations in absurdity. Sharing information appears to be the dharma of the times we are living in, and so I follow this dharma. To come out of my shell and share what I know. That's about all. As I have said, I have held government and corporate positions for the major part of my life. I also successfully raised a family. I kept my avid interest in learning throughout my life. Did Masters and PhD in English Literature and a Masters in Consciousness and Creative Writing. I had opportunities in my career to live in the Himalayas and was fortunate in spending time with sadhus and gurus, including the likes of Kainchi Baba of Gwalior, among other anonymous sadhus. My introduction into the so-called inner life started with listening to J. Krishnamurti as a 20-year-old at his Green Base Road abode in Chennai. He was speaking about life, love, death and mind. Made little sense to me at that time, but it succeeded in starting an incoherent inner chatter. The demands of life were high and I moved on. My second encounter was with a book by Dr. Kenneth Walker on a philosopher called G.I. Gurdjieff. I was totally absorbed with this and his followers' works, including those of P.D. Uspensky and Maurice Nicoll. Then followed many philosophies, including those of Yogananda, Aurobindo, Osho, Ramana Maharshi, Krishna Menon, Eknath Easwaran, Carl Jung, Allan Watts, Aldous Huxley, U.G. Krishnamurti, and many others. Simply put, I was indulging in a shopping spree in the spiritual bazaar. Simultaneously, I studied my religion and sincerely followed for several years what it said, which mainly consisted of an assurance of a great afterlife. The tool used was devotion, an unflinching devotion called Mahavishwas, and other specific rituals. The culture in which I grew up was full of material from religion in areas such as dancing, singing, temple god worship, and ancestral worship. Homes had small puja rooms devoted to pictures of gods. Certain other tools, in addition to devotion and bhakti, are yoga, meditation, and prayers. These, it's believed, helped in keeping the herd in shape and control. In short, I have been through it all. Not only a busy and responsible career, also religion, philosophy, and spirituality. I met life on more than equal terms. Gurdjieff says you cannot sit on two stools. That's what I have been trying to do by practicing religion on the one hand and reading the spiritual texts on the other. While the former relied on faith, the latter called for inquiry. I retired a few years ago and settled in the little quiet and quaint beach town of Santa Cruz in California, within a stone's throw of the boardwalk opening onto the Pacific Ocean. The famous Highway 1 runs through this town from Big Sur Mountains and Monterey Bay and beyond to the Golden Gate Bridge. Within 50 miles are the towns of Cupertino, Mountain View, and Sunnyvale, where the tech giants of the world, Apple, Google, and Facebook, are situated. I sit in the backyard of the farmhouse with friends and discuss life. The farmhouse is beautiful with flowers, vegetables, and fruit-bearing trees such as apple, lemon, peach, plum, and pomegranates. The discussions continue on the Santa Cruz boardwalk or the Marine Heights trekking trails with spectacular view below of the Golden Gate Bridge. And sometimes in coffee shops in Hollywood, Los Angeles with dream makers. These years I didn't seek regular work. Gurdjieff insisted on hands-on manual labor before hoping for spiritual advancement or whatever you call it. I do just that around my home, assisting in doing utensils, cooking, washing, and gardening. This is phenomenal for me, considering the fact that my line of work brought along considerable manual support in the past. Looking after grandchildren and playing with them is of course a bonus. It also gave me plenty of opportunities to regurgitate the knowledge and life experiences I have had in my life. It has taken over a decade to unwind and wash away the conditioning my work and family life imposed on me. Now I feel free to a large extent of these influences of my past. The space which has been created in my psychology by doing away with many of the activities of the past is immense. You may call this freedom, realization, self-realization, enlightenment, etc. But I call it just the space. In this space, I see things and concepts as what they truly are. Out of all the philosophies I read and understood, the ideas of U.G. Krishnamurti stood out distinctly above everything else. I felt it was close to truth than any other philosophy, especially in the 21st century. This is important considering my long life during which I developed a sense for reality. The ideas I am sharing here on this channel have been given a final shape by UG's approach to life. But the background I laid before coming to his teachings was very important for my understanding. The soil, so to say, was fertile enough to catch the points given by UG and grow in me. While my earlier attempts were akin to beating around the bush, UG showed me the elephant in the living room. The questions I had were, who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going to? What's life? What am I doing with my life? And who is asking these questions? The great minds of the past were no doubt trying to figure out what life is all about. All scriptures, doctrines, and philosophies are just models and projections of life created by them. None of them uncovered the so-called ultimate truth, though many would vouch for it. But I don't. This is my personal opinion. UG was the only philosopher who said it's beyond humans to uncover it. This is my journey. I have had a life, been a part of my pan-Indian career spanning 35 years. First 25 years in the Indian police service and the next 10 years in the corporate India. I came to the US to train in creative writing and published the book Restless, the Chronicles. While the first part of the book describes my life, career and family, the second part outlines the journey of search I undertook. This channel is the outcome of such a search, and my search stops here. Why I am seemingly against the established systems, culture, society, institutions, etc. Why am I being slightly irreverent about established norms, accepted customs of thinking, and long-revered factors like God, religion, spirituality, and philosophies? The answer is deconditioning. Conditioning runs our lives. Right from before birth until we die, conditioning creeps up on us, layer after layer, brick after brick. By the time we reach adulthood and much later, the conditioning becomes so thick, like an Antarctic ice slab, enclosing and imprisoning us. We look at life through this ice slab, a blurred vision of things. We are never able to see the true nature or color of people and things. The other person too is looking at you through this encasement. This is a stalemate, a curse, And we live and die inside this living casket, never knowing what freedom is, what life is. UG used a sledgehammer to break this ice, literally. When you break the ice, you cannot spare one side or the other. You break it blow by blow, every bit of it, and reconstruct the same thing differently. That's what I am trying to do. Strike at the systems and break the encasing and release us into true freedom. From this freedom, you choose what to do with your life, not from your conditioning. A word about why I named this channel Absurd Conversations. As I said, our lives are indeed absurd. It's a great privilege to realize that our life is perhaps absurd. In fact, that realization is nothing short of enlightenment. One who dies without realizing this absurdity is indeed unfortunate. I would rather say the purpose of life, if any, would be to understand its absurdity first, before trying to appreciate its meaning. Why our lives turned absurd? Is it because of the unconscious burden we carry? If so, unburdening ourselves and releasing our lives into the freedom of flying is the core theme of our talks. So, I say it again, let's begin our explorations in absurdity. Thank you. Catch you later.